Hey, what's up guys? Hoping you're having a good day. We have another exciting vlog. I actually have my largest win I've ever had on the vlog, so that's extremely exciting and well overdue because I've had some losses in the past which have hurt, so it's good to rebuild that bankroll. Anyways, stay tuned to the end because that's when all the exciting hands happen. There's some in the middle too, and if you want to see how much I won, that will be at the outro. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into those hands. Alright guys. This is the first hand you're seeing of the night, but not the first hand I've played. I've pocket eights under the gun, raise up to $10. We started the game off with a double board PLO bomb pot. I ended up losing around $100 there, maybe a little bit more. So that's to let you know where my stack size is at this hand. I normally buy into games for 300, but in this hand I am down a little bit. So I think I'm at like 180. I think I lost like 120 in the hand. So I raised it up to 10, got a couple callers. The button raised to 30. Small blind called, I called, and the low jack called as well. So we will be going 4 ways to this flop with a lot of money in there for my stack size. 120 bucks. I have about 125 behind. Flop comes out 9-7-4 with 2 clubs. I check it. Low jack bets $30. Button thinks about it for a second before he ends up calling. And at this point, with how much money is in the middle, I'm kind of in a weird spot. I don't feel like I can call. I don't want to see any turn cards. So I think it's either a fold or go all in. Small blind gets out of the way and action's on me. You guys know me. I'm more of the aggressive route. So I ship all my chips into the middle for $125 and just kind of hope and pray that no one has us beat. I mean, we have second pair on this board. If someone has an overpair, I feel like they would have raised. So I don't think that low jack is an overpair. He may have a 9. Maybe we can push him off a 9. That's about it. And the button, if he had an overpair, I felt like he would have raised because he was the original raiser. So I'm putting him on like ace, king, something like that, and not an overpair because, once again, I feel like an overpair raises on this board. It's a very wet texture and you don't want to give away free cards. So that was the conclusion I came to. Low jack's in the blender though. He is questioning me, asking me what I have, asking me if I have a set of 7s. He's like, check raise. Interesting, Marcus. What do you have? What have you got? He ends up folding though. He doesn't want to play for that much, thinking my play is extremely strong, which it really is. I mean, someone bet the other player who was the original raiser, called, and I ship all in over the top. Honestly, I just didn't know what to do with this hand. I didn't know what to do with 8s. I felt like leading out wasn't the move, and then checking and calling just the $30 bet didn't feel like the move either. So this felt like the best way to go with my particular hand. Now we're on to the button and he is once again talking. He's like, hey, do you want me to call? What do you want me to do? And I was like, hey, it's your call, it's your chips. Like, that's on you. Don't ask me what you should do with this hand. I don't even know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what you have. I don't know if I want to call. If you have like ace king of clubs here, I mean, it's a flip. You're kind of, it's like 50-50. He may be a favorite if that's his hand. I don't know, but all I know is I'm cool taking down the pot right now, but I'm not going to tell him that because, you know, then that shows weakness. You give away too much. So I just told him, hey, that's up to you. It's up to you what you do. But in my mind, I'm like, just fold. I don't want to see any more cards. I'll take down what's in the middle. We got 120 plus y'all's 260s. There's 180 out there. I'm cool with this. Like, shoot. He calls. All right, $300 in the middle. You know, okay. We're going twice, guys. We're going twice. We discussed it, talked to him. Oh, he actually does have ace king clubs. First run has 3 spades, jack of hearts, 6 of diamonds, and then queen of diamonds on bottom. So we fade the entire world against ace king of clubs with pocket 8s. Low jack player said he had a 9, so we got the winning hand to fold, got the losing hand to call, up to 300, and on to the next hand. Alright, feels good to be back to even, I gotta be honest. Feels even better to be under the gun again with a $5 button straddle. Look down and see pocket kings. Now, the action is starting to the left because people don't see the button straddle. Obviously, I want there to be the button straddle because I want to raise it up. I'm under the gun. Like, I want to build this pot. But with that being said, it's also the proper action. So we get it all right. I raise up to $25. Middle position player calls. The hijack player calls. And then we are back on to the button player. It appears I'm playing a lot of hands from under the gun. First 2 hands, why not? Button player thinks about it for a second and then eventually decides that he does not want to play for $25. So he relinquishes his cards back to the dealer and we get on with the hand. Now, Flop comes out, not the best, not the worst. 9-10 queen rainbow. So we do block king jack, but there's a lot of two pairs. There's straights out there. There's a lot of scary stuff. Middle position bets $25. Hijack goes all in for $65, and action's back on me. I don't think the middle position player has like a super nutted hand, so I go all in over the top. And if they do have something, I still have a jack for outs. I mean, you know, it is what it is. It's another one of those weird situations. I do want to isolate at this point and get it heads up. I don't want to go three ways to a turn because half the cards in the deck are going to scare me. So that's why I do go all in over the top. The other player folds, and we decide to run it twice. The first run out is the deuce of spades, followed by the 7 of hearts, and then the ace of clubs and 7 of diamonds. I let him know I have kings. He says that we are good, and we scoop this $235 pot. Not too bad. On to the next one. All right, guys, we're heading the right direction. Back on track. Couple wins in a row. Put $5 on the button to straddle. Look down and see ace queen offsuit. Let's see if we can make it 3 hands in a row. Under the gun, raise it up to $15. Action folds around, and it gets to the hijack player who decides he's going to play for 15, tosses that in as well, and then it's to me. At this point, I am definitely raising it up. I make it 55. I feel like this is a mistake. I feel like I should have gone to 60, 65 when I 3-bet here. So I feel like my 3-bet sizing is a little bit light. That being said, you know, this is me nitpicking maybe some. Under the gun player makes the call, and we're going heads up to the flop. Comes out pretty good for us. 9-6 ace rainbow. So we flop top pair with the queen kicker. He checks, I check behind for deception. Sometimes you gotta check your strong hands. Turn is a 10 of clubs. He bets $50, and I didn't check flop to fold for $50 on the turn. So I make the call. We're ahead of pretty much every hand but straight at this point. River comes to 9 of spades. He checks it. To me, it looks like he has a 10, maybe miss clubs, something like that. I don't think he has a 9. I don't think he has a straight with the way it's played. So I bet 115 to target a weaker ace or maybe a non-believing 10. He makes the call, 460 in the pot. Flip over my cards, showing him I have ace queen, and he flips over his cards, letting me know he in fact has a straight. So, yep. 7-8, open-ended on the flop, got there on the turn, played it tricky, and got paid. On to the next hand. All right, guys, we are back on the button. This is the first Omaha hand I have on the button. I have about $93 in front of me, $5 button straddle. And I don't know what tilts you guys the most, but what tilts me the most is just getting extremely outplayed like I did last hand. Under the gun, raise up to $20. Sometimes people get tilted because, you know, someone sucks out on them. That doesn't tilt me as much. That's just part of the game. It aggravates me, but it doesn't tilt me. Getting outplayed like I did last hand it's just because I thought I was good, right? I was like, oh, obviously this is what he has, not a big deal. And then, you know, he has a straight, which I was not expecting at all. So good play to him. I'm explaining that now to justify what's happening here. Basically, we had 20 callers. I go all in for my remaining $93 because I'm on tilt and because it's Omaha, and I'm like, hey, any 4 can score, why not? Under the gun makes a call for 93. Yep, hopefully we can hit here, boys. We have 4 deuce 8 3 with the 8 being suited. I guess, you know, that's something. That's definitely something. Middle position makes a call as well. Low jack puts in some chips and calls. Other player gets out of the way, but the cutoff decides he is going to mess around and find out with us on this degen train that I have jumped into or onto. I don't know. All I know is I have a one-way pass to degen land, and all these guys are invited. Now, I'm gonna tell you guys really quick so you know, there is quite a bit of money in this pot for me. There's an entire $490. But flop comes out, turn comes out, river comes out. I let them play out their hand while I basically look at my cards and wonder what in the world I have done. I am wondering that because we did not hit a draw. We did not hit anything on flop, turn, or river. We have 8 high. That's it. We didn't even hit pair. Lost his hand, reloading, on to the next one. All right, guys, so reload for another $300, dusting off all of that, you know, tilt I got on me. No more tomfoolery, no more craziness. I'm in the cutoff, look down, see pocket tens, raise it up to $15. Standard play here, small blind makes the call. Everything going according to plan. It's time for the redemption arc. It's time to turn it around. It's okay. You can tilt and do dumb things every now and then, preferably not, but after you do it, get back on track, brush yourself off, and try and make it happen. Flop comes out Queen 10 9. 2 spades, flop middle set. He just bets into me for $25. I just make the call, hoping to see a clean turn so I can raise and have some fun, but that's not what we see. 8 of hearts on the turn. He bets $25. I reluctantly make the call. River comes, 7 of hearts. Once again, he bets $25. Hey, man, if you have a straight, take my money. I don't know what to tell you. I have a set. I call. I'm just going to run into it, I guess. He flips over. He has 2 pair, though, and we end up winning with a set. So $185 coming our way. Not too bad. On to the next hand. All right, guys. So there's been a little bit of action. $5 button straddle on here. The small blind player raised it up to $10. He got a few callers. Button player raises it to $65. Small blind player calls, and I make the call with King Jack of Hearts as well from the hijack. So we're going to be going 3 ways to this flop. I started recording a little bit late in this hand. That's why I was trying to catch you guys up. Flop comes out, and it is King 7 King. We flop trips with a Jack kicker. Obviously, I'm a check and flow to the pre-flop raiser. He goes all in for 165. Small blind player gets out of the way. I snap call. 555 in the middle. We rip it. I let him know I have King Jack. Ace comes on the turn. 5 on the river, changing nothing. He had pocket tens. We scoop up this $555 pot. Not too bad. Not too bad. On to the next one. All right, guys. So in this hand, we are playing pot limit Omaha. Look down and see Ace 10 9 King with 3 diamonds. There is a straddle out, and under the gun +1 calls. Middle position player makes a call. Low jack makes a call. And basically everyone is wanting to play for $5. Cutoff makes the call. Button folds. I make the call. Big blind makes the call. And the original straddler races it up to $45. Yep. This is how we play PLO in Texas. I don't know how it's played anywhere else. I've only played in Texas, but all I know is that there are big pots. Under the gun +1 makes the call. And yeah, this is going to be Texas heads up, boys. Middle position player makes the call. Low jack player makes the call. Are you seeing a trend? Hijack makes the call. I make the call. Small blind gets out of the way. Cutoff player got out of the way as well. So we lost 2 players, raising up to 45. And we still have a lot of players going to see this flop. This is just an extremely bloated pot, and I have a marginal hand. Now, the thing with PLO is if you hit, you can definitely get paid due to how much is in the pot and how much there are draws and people chase. It's just a game with very high variance. You have to chase if you're getting the right odds. If you want to play the game correctly, that is. I mean, if you want to conserve your money, then you can fold, but I don't think you should play poker to conserve money. I think you should play to win and play the numbers, and if you're getting the right odds, you should play. Flop comes out Jack 5-8, so we flop open-ended with a backdoor diamond draw. It does check around until it gets to the under the gun +1 player, and he announces that he would like to pot it. He bets $270, which is a lot of money. Yep, that's a lot of money. All we have right now is open-ended. The thing is, if more people call, it increases our odds of calling. So the more people that call, the less money in comparison to the pot we have to put in to win. Middle position player goes all in for $225. Low jack player fiddles with his stack for a second, trying to get it out there. He goes all in for $160. Hijack player folds, and action gets to me. I ask for a count on the bet and the player's all-ins because I want to know how much money is out there to see if I'm getting the right odds to make this call. Once he counts out all the chips and lets me know how much each one of them are, I do a little calculations in my head, and I come to the conclusion that yes, I'm in fact getting the right odds to call because the other player has me covered. I have about 235 behind after I make this call, so if I do hit, I will probably get paid from him as well. So there's reverse implied odds. There's all these things that people say, these nerdy things. Essentially, all you need to know is I have 8 outs, 8 clean outs since it's a rainbow board. So all I need is around, plus with a backdoor draw, around 20-ish%. And that's kind of what I'm getting on my money at this point. It's right around there. It's a little bit shy, but you know, it is what it is. You have to put your neck out there every now and then. And that's what I decided to do here. $1,195 in the middle. I only have $335 behind. If I could talk, words are hard today. And I want you guys to let me know, while he is getting all this in order and getting all the pots ready, because he is an amazing dealer, he's doing a good job, what is the best card we could see on the turn? Let me know down in the comments. Me personally, I know what I'm looking for. I am looking for the Queen of Diamonds. That is the bank card. It gives us the nut flush draw. It gives us higher straight draws, and it gives us the nuts at this moment in time on the turn. So that is the miracle card. If we could hit that, that would be amazing. Do me a favor. If you're not already and you enjoy the content, drop a sub, drop a like. Maybe that will manifest this Queen of Diamonds and not pair the board. One-time dealer. Boom! That is right. The Queen of Diamonds rips off on the turn. I ship it all in for $345. The Under the Gun +1 player asks for a count. Dealer counts out all my chips. Unfortunately, he knocks some of them over. It's all right. Very easy to clean that up. Don't have a lot left at this moment in time. And he makes the call. So we have the nuts with a nut redraw, 2 nut redraws. We have a higher straight redraw and we have the nut flush redraw. $1,885 in the pot. We discussed what we would like to do. Per usual, for the most part, we decided to run it twice. The dealer's got all the pots right. Everything's fine. Under the Gun +1 is not all in because he had enough money to cover the entire table at this point. Hopefully we can change that with this. First turn is the blankest of blanks, deuce of spades. On the bottom, the 7 of spades. So we still have the nuts. We are chopping at the very least. I let everyone know I have the crazy 9-10. That is the uber nuts on this board. And one by one, they all announce that that is good and fold their cards back to the dealer. We scoop this $1,885 pot, putting us in 4-figure profit zone because we're in for 600. Come on, baby, let's go on to the next hand. Keep this good time rolling. Okay, guys, this is the very next hand. The players wanted me to put $10 on the button since I just won a big hand. I obliged. I did it. Small blind, big blind call, under the gun, raise up to 30. I have Jack 10 suited, so I make the call. Small blind and big blind call as well. We're going 4 ways to the flop with $120 in the middle. And once again on the flop, we end up flopping open-ended when it comes 9 queen deuce. So 10 jack open-ended, backdoor flush. Once again, it's one of those hands where probably going to have to pay some money to see a turn. Under the gun, bet $75. That is the player that we just doubled up from in the last hand, winning a huge pot on Omaha. I'm calling for 75. I just want a big pot. Plus, I'm open-ended, and I have backdoor diamonds. So, yeah, putting the money in the middle, and now we're waiting for the other 2 players. The small blind player is in the tank right now for 75 bucks. At this point, I don't know if he just has like a weak top pair that he may have called with because he felt like he's getting the right odds. If he has a club flush draw, I'm not really sure what's going on or what he has. All I know is that he is in fact taking quite a long time. And this is actually a group of guys that acts fairly quickly. That's one of the things I like about this game. I like about this table. I like about these guys. Number 1, they're all fun. They're all a good time. Number 2, they act quickly. And I enjoy a game that acts quickly. Now, don't get me wrong. There are spots where you have to tank, and I understand that. If it's a big pot and you need time, take all the time you need. I'm not angry. I'm not mad at you. I will never call clock on you. But for times like this, when it's on the flop and it's $75, I don't really remember how much he had behind. So maybe this was a big decision for him. Maybe he had to go all in or fold. So maybe I'm just kind of, going through the hand and reviewing it and acting out of pocket. I'm not sure, but eventually it does make the fold, and we're going heads up to the turn. Like the previous hand, I binked the gin card, King of Diamonds, giving us the straight along with a flush draw and a straight flush draw. Oh, man, when you're hitting, you're hitting. Under the gun player checks and action is on me. I have the nuts and I have a redraw, so I'm going to bet here, and I bet 150. He makes the call, and we're going still heads up to the turn. 570 in the pot. Turn comes, I'm sorry, the river. River comes in, it's the king of hearts, pairing the board, but when he checks to me, I don't see any reason not to bet. I still have the nuts, and I think a full house probably bets here. It's more likely he has missed clubs. I block missed diamonds, so he probably doesn't have those. Maybe he has a queen, like ace queen, something like that. You know, there's hands he can have, if I could talk, that I can get value from. So I bet $250, a little less than a half pot. Then he jams for 460. Now, I'm hating life. I'm hating life. To put this into perspective for you guys, I'm like, why didn't I just check? But there's $1,280 in the middle, and it's only an extra $210 to call. That's it. To win $1,280, all I have to do is put another $210 into the middle of this pot. I don't know about you guys, but where I come from, this is never a bluff. You're betting $210, hoping I fold whatever I have. This looks insanely strong. So yes, I know I just gave the other player a hard time for being in the tank, but your boy is now the one in the tank. I am just hating life. $210 to win $1,280. It's never a bluff. And the problem is I have the cards I want him to have. I want him to have things like ace 10 of diamonds, ace jack of diamonds that floated the flop, turned a flush draw, and then now we're bluffing. I block a lot of his bluffs with my hand. That's one of the problems I have. I also don't block any boats. I don't have a pair on this board. I don't block pocket queens. I don't block pocket nines. I don't block king nine, queen nine. Any of those things are still available. But at the end of the day, 210 to win 1,280 is just too good of a price, I think. And I don't think I can fall. I'm not a good enough player. Let me know in the comments what you guys would do, but I make the call. He could still have the ace 10, ace jack of clubs that he's doing this with, but he doesn't have any of those hands. He has pocket jacks that he turned into a bluff, and we win a $1,490 pot, boys. The hits just keep on coming. Happy I didn't fold that one. Let's move on to the next hand and see what is coming up. All right, guys, we're back in another hand. At this point in the night, we've gone to a round of each, so you're going to see a lot of Omaha hands. Just fair warning, if you're looking for Hold'em, it's going to be mainly Omaha from here on out. I'm in the big blind, look down and see ace, jack, 10 deuce with 3 hearts. It's not ideal to have 3 hearts in this situation, but hey, it is what it is. I have 4 cards. I have been hitting and on a winning streak, so, probably going to give some action if someone raises. Under the gun, +1 does just that. Raise it up to $10. Unless something goes crazy, I'm going to call this $10. Middle position player, hijacking cutoff call. No one has re-raised, so I put in $10 to make the call as well. And the under the gun player tags along. We're going 5 ways to this flop. And I got to be honest, it's not the best flop in the world, guys. Flop comes out, and it is ace 7 queen. So we flop top pair in a gutter ball along with backdoor hearts, I guess. Under the gun +1, bets 25. Middle position player calls, and the other player in the hijack decides to call as well. Cutoff folds his cards, and at this point, that's $75 plus the 50 in the middle. It's $125, $25 to win that. Why not? I'm gonna throw it in there and see what happens on the turn. Turn comes, improving our hand quite a bit, actually. It's the 8 of hearts, so now any 9 gives us the straight. King gives us a straight, as well as any non-board pairing heart gives us the nut flush. So all in all, really, really good turn card. And then it checks through. 150 in the pot. River comes to 6 of hearts. We now have the uber nuts. That is right. The nut flush, nothing in the world beats us. I bet 125. Could have bet pot, but I did 25 less than pot. Why? Because I'm a nice guy. That's why. Maybe I miscalculated pot. I don't know what it was, but either way, it is $25 shy of getting max value if anyone does decide to call. One by one, they fold until it gets to the hijack player. He throws in $125 in chips to make the call. Sorry, the cutoff player. I flip over my card showing him I have the nut flush. This player actually said he didn't even notice the flush because it went runner. It's a very sneaky flush, I'm not going to lie. He had the straight, so good on him for not raising when he didn't see the flush because he could have lost a lot more money. But 400 coming our way. On to the next hand. All right, guys, it appears I lied to you because this is a hold'em hand right here. We have this hand in one hand, more to go. Look down from under the gun, see king, queen, offsuit. There's a $5 button straddle because there's mainly a $5 button straddle on this game for the most part. So it's basically a 1-2-5 game. Action gets to me. I raise up to $25. Why? Because I have a premium hand. That is why, and I want to get more money into the middle. Of course, the middle position player calls. He is the player that, in my opinion, outplayed us when he had the straight and had ace queen. He's also a player that we have gotten in a few big hands with and gotten the best of him. So it's been back and forth with he and I all night, and we've been playing a lot of pots together. I enjoy playing with him. I think he's a great player. He's a thinking player, and I like playing with thinking players because it makes me a better player. So we get a few callers going about 4 or 5 ways, I think, to this flop. With that being said, it can be frustrating to get outplayed, like I said earlier. Anyways, 130 in this flop, and we smash it. King, queen, deuce. We flop top 2 pair. I bet $75 because I have top 2 pair. Not much more to say on this analysis. Our nemesis, the middle position player, makes the call. He's the only one who makes the call. Everyone else folds. 280 in the pot. Turn comes, changes absolutely nothing other than bringing in a backdoor flush draw. It is the 8 of spades. Since there are 2 flush draws, I decided to size up quite a bit. I think I could have gone even larger, maybe gone all in. I'm not sure, but I bet $225 into 280. He quickly stacks up chips and puts them into the middle. This is why I think I could have gone all in on this street. He has about, I think, 265 behind. So 530 in the pot, going to the river with 265 behind in his stack. It is the 3 of clubs, bringing in the front door flush. And I got to tell you, if he has it, he's getting paid. I have top 2 pair. I'm not going to check fold, so I may as well go all in. And that's what I do. I go all in. He calls 1,060 in the middle. He, in fact, has the flush. Wow. He had queen 6 of clubs. No idea how bad of shape he was in. We had top 2. He probably thought 6 was good. He probably thought his queen was good. I'm sorry, queen 7 of clubs. So he probably thought he had a lot more outs than he did. We had him in a stranglehold, but he found the club to suck out on us. And a $1,060 pot is going his way. Oh, it hurts. On to the next hand. All right, guys, for the final hand of the night, we're playing on the button. I straddle for $5, and we look down and see 4-4 ace single suited. So not a bad hand for the final hand of the night. We get a few callers. The big blind, under the gun, middle position. All these people called. We got some people making change on the table. All good. Someone had some greens, wanted some reds. They make that happen because we're very accommodating. Hijack player makes the call, and action's on me. Yep, going to be raising with aces single suited, I guess. Double suited would be better, but hey, can't be mad about what we got. I raise up to $35. The under the gun player decides to make the call. I'm sorry, big blind player makes a call. Under the gun pots it. He actually puts all of his chips in the middle, essentially committing himself, saying he's going with this hand and he doesn't care what happens on any other bet. So he puts all his chips in the middle, folds back around to me. I repot it after he made it 145, essentially putting him all in or the other player all in for 430 effective. So that's what I do. Yeah. This is how we play aces, boys. We hope someone else re-raises so we can open up the pot again and make it too much for those questionable hands to call. Everyone's going to call 35, but not everyone's going to call 400 plus. Other player gets out of the way. Under the gun makes a call, and we're going heads up to a run out. This player's been ripping it all night, so that is what we do on this hand as well. I am more than happy to do whatever he wants, but he is a ripper, and he has been ripping. So he's going to rip on this one as well. Got to hope our aces hold. Oh, fingers crossed, because this pot is a pretty big one. It's $905 before we've even seen a flop. Flop comes out and we smash it. Ace, queen, 7 with 2 spades. 6 of clubs comes on the river, and the 6 of diamonds on the river. I'm sorry, 6 of clubs on the turn, 6 of diamonds on the river. So outside of pocket sixes, giving him quads, we have the best hand possible. He mucks his cards, 905, making up everything we lost from the last hand pretty much, and that is how we are going to end the night. Not too bad. Several $1,000 plus pots in this session. It was a good one. It was a fun one. I ran insanely well. I mean, I went on God mode, hit all my draws with like the perfect bink card on a lot of turns, but Anyways, that is how we're going to end this session. Let's go to the outro to see how we did. All right, guys, I was in the game for 600, ended up cashing out for 3,100. So $2,500 profit on one game in a 1-2 game. That's pretty good. I will take that any day of the week. If I can do that every game, I'd be a happy guy. But all in all, I think I played well. I think I had one tilt moment with the Omaha hand for my first buy-in, which led into my second buy-in. That was tilt. I understand that. Not the right way to go. Other than that, I feel like I played pretty well. I ran like God. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I ran extremely well. If you're running that good, it's hard not to be a profitable poker player at the end of the day. But really didn't run into any crazy coolers or anything like that. If I did, the coolers were in my favor instead of in theirs. My king queen where I flopped 2 pair, he ended up hitting the flush, which was unfortunate. If he had hit the other queen or his 7, we would have gotten paid, but he hit the one card, the one suit, I should say. More than one club left. Okay, I get it, guys. They ended up getting him paid, but I can't complain. Like I said, I ran pretty good outside of that. So all in all, $2,500 win. I'll definitely take that. And make sure you stay tuned because we have some more wins coming. If you were still here, thank you and I appreciate it. Be sure to drop a sub if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.